The Man Cave presents the first expansion for the Dropzone Commander universe. Dropzone Commander Reconquest Phase 1. This expansion introduces new rules and scenarios and introduces a range of famous commanders for all 5 races of Dropzone Commander. 5 races. Yep, that's right. 5. Reconquest Phase 1 introduces a new faction to the Dropzone Commander universe, the Resistance. The Resistance are descendants of survivors of the original Scourge invasion, and they've lived their lives under constant fear of annihilation and basically getting eaten by the Scourge. And each one, it could be considered a veteran. They've a wide range of vehicles, both repurposed civilian vehicles and old army tech. So without any waiting around, we'll have a look at the first expansion, the inside cover. Now, I absolutely love the cover of this book. As you can see, it's a battle taking place. You have a dropship coming in, well, taking off after picking up a couple of vehicles on its wings. You have the Scourge advancing. You have the humans fighting. It's a very cinematic scene. Now, like the core rulebook, it's divided into sections. Each section is color coded. First of all, we have the fluff section. In the fluff for this book, it gives the details and a bit of background of the early days of humanity and basically what's been happening with survivors of humanity on the occupied worlds. It tells basically how they've survived, how they've adapted to fighting the Scourge. Unlike the core rulebook, there's much more art in this expansion. Some of the art is amazing. Like here we have the scene from the cover. Here we have someone about to get eaten by a razor worm. Here we have the UCM on display for their people just before Reconquest began. Propaganda machine. Now, and here we are. The fluff roughly starts about 250 days after the Reconquest began. It's organized into the planets that the Reconquest has begun on. The fluff is written in a sort of a military report style fashion, which is quite nice. We have a different planet here that the war's been going on. Another one, Shangri-La. Again, more artwork with a space dock on this side that you could host a game on. Lots of lovely artwork and designer notes. Some mysterious fluff of what's happening. We have new scenario and tournament information. A fair few new scenarios included in the book. Some new terrain. Some civilian vehicles down here. Some military complexes like a hangar, orbital defense laser, bunker entrances, monorail. We have the new rules for vehicles in this. We have presented with painted up new vehicles. Now I have to show you this. This here is my favourite image from the whole book. The UCM Smoking Man. It's a cloning Marine basically enjoying a cigarette after a long hard day of dropping down. But oh no, what's this up here? It's a razor worm about to get its dinner. So like the core rulebook, we have new units for all their stats. First off, for the UCM, new tanks. We have the new famous commanders, their rules. Now, famous commanders are to be used in friendly games. They're not tournament legal because they'd be too overpowered. We have now onto the Scourge. A little update on the Scourge, how they have new horrors awaiting, new vehicles, infantry, new walkers for the Scourge, new famous commanders. They're on PHR. PHR got a big bump in this book. They've new fluff. They're a lot more mobile in this book than they originally were in the core rulebook. This is the Type 4 Walker. It is a beast. New stats, new famous commanders. The Shaltari. Shaltari also get new stuff. This is what a Shaltari looks like a porcupine, outside with all of its armor and all that. More new walkers, some aerial units. Their famous commanders. Now, a bit of fluff here. Now, one thing I like about the fluff is, it might not notice it, but this little bit of fluff, around about a page of fluff with images. You see UCM blasting away at Scourge, and then UCM being held captive by feral humans. But the characters mentioned in this little bit of fluff were also mentioned in the core rulebook. In the core rulebook, it mentioned how they were just dropping from their dropship and all hell broke loose. Now they're on the planet, and again, all hell is broken loose. And they end their day being captured by feral humans. Now, we're on to the Resistance. With the Resistance, a lot of their vehicles and that, their tanks, their transports, it's all sort of repurposed old military tech that was found, or civilian vehicles. For the civilian vehicles, it's basically Mad Max. Anywhere they've managed to slap a bit of armor or a gun or a rocket launcher, they have. Their fluff details, how they've survived, how they've managed to fight the Scourge in a limited way, how they've adapted, their special rules. One of their special rules allow you to use a drill unit, where basically you come up from underneath the ground and then all your vehicles run out. We have new dropships. Well, dropships. This is a command transport, basically, loaded to bear. And this thing in real life is huge. You can actually place your phone in the drop bay. New aerial units. Attack helicopters, as you see. Kind of Mad Max style. Slap on a bit of armor, slap on a gun anywhere they can fit it. There's Resistance driving down the road. That's some old military tech that they've managed to get their hands on, slapped a few armor plates onto. Their infantry. This is Marine Force Recon team that can be taken in the Resistance. As in the first book, it talked about how they would send covert teams to the occupied Cradle Worlds. This is one of those covert teams that can be played with a Resistance. Now the Resistance is basically broken up into Allied and Feral. Here we have two famous commanders for the Allied and two for the Feral. We have how to build a battle group for the Resistance. Bit more artwork, painted miniatures. We have colour schemes. There's a battle bus. We have more colour schemes. The level of detail is amazing. Like on the civilian vehicles. Like on this one here, you can make out all the pipes and transaxle and everything. Like that amount of detail. The fans underneath the hovercraft didn't need to do it, but Hawk Wargames did it. We have a game board, the index. So that's phase 1 of Dropzone Commander. Lovely addition to the game, adds a lot more units and flexibility. If you haven't gotten it by now, you should go out and get it. Read the fluff, catch up. Well, that's all it is for now. Until next time, I'll see you from the table.